during lunch when somebody approached me and said, you will be the first speaker after lunch, I thought, oh, everybody will be sleepy, so I'll try to keep you awake. In the introduction, I have been in Oman for the past 8 years, and previously I had been at West Virginia University, which has had an academic partnership with Oman Medical College, which is why I went. Before I go into the intellectual and practical aspects of academia, I thought I would give you a background. How does one become an administrator in education? I mean, I don't think somebody goes off to college and say, I want to be a dean. I was terrified of the deans in my college. So in my view, as an undergraduate student, somebody who's going to become a leader is quite eager to learn, very intellectual, develops critical thinking, questions the faculty, and sets future goals. One of them is to go on to graduate school, if you're so inclined, where as a graduate student you become immersed in the field that you're interested in, more so than as an undergraduate, at least in the United States, where you can be somewhat of a dilettante. So to complete a degree as a PhD, you have to pass a comprehensive examination, which demonstrates broad knowledge, and for many of us was quite terrifying to be questioned. And subsequently, I've administered many oral exams to PhD students who usually comment, I knew so much more than you asked me. Then, of course, you have to write a dissertation. So once getting a PhD and some training, you become a professor or an assistant professor. So there you have to teach, and you get evaluated by peers and students, not always pleasantly. You also have to do research. The cry is publish or perish if you want to get promoted. And you also have to do some service, either for the university on committees, in the community, and eventually in national organizations, and attend international meetings. So if you're successful as a professor after a number of years, you've made become a departmental chair. And for most, at least in the United States, and from my colleagues who became chairs of departments of biochemistry, none of us had any experience or training in how to be an administrator. You learn on the job. You learn how to handle people. I say the bully, the whiner, the manipulator. And then you learn that you have to assign teaching, you have to assign people to committees, you have to evaluate the people who are working under you, and as a leader try to stimulate them and empower them to be even better, and to encourage research. So then you become a dean, if you are so inclined, where as the dean, you're sort of the final decision maker on academic issues, but you also have to deal with many of the practical issues, standards, behavior. You also have to deal with the people above you, the board of directors or board of trustees, whoever is running the institution. And I don't know if in other places, but in Oman for sure, and when I was at West Virginia, you always had to deal with the finance people. You could not do everything you wanted because there was never the money. So now, to what are the goals of a university or college? The main goal is to educate the students. And in order to educate the students, you have to recruit competent faculty. You also, if you want to be a good university, you have to have research and development, and you have to serve the community, again at the local, the national, and the international level. So I'm going to go through all of these issues and how they come to, as the dean, you meet the goals of the university. The dean will set with the faculty and the board of trustees the graduation standards, the standards for hiring faculty, highlight research success, and so forth. But as a dean, which I've done for the last 8 years, you attend a lot of meetings, but meanwhile you're making a lot of decisions. Sometimes I think I'm solving mini crises, but they're still important for the people involved. So this is a picture of me at a meeting. I don't look too bored, but this is taken by one of my colleagues. Okay, so in terms of how we should educate our students, and I think I have three different points I'm going to raise here. I think in order to have the knowledge and skills to succeed in the 21st century, I think a student needs to be given a broad understanding of the world, the past and the present, no matter what the field is. I'm a biochemist professionally, and I can assure you that most beginning students don't want to know the history of biochemistry, but if you go through it, you see how people made big leaps of information that we take for granted now.